thrilled to be here. Thank you, Kathy. So hey, everyone. My name is Madeline Pratt, and I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Fearless in Training. We're a team of creatives that works with anyone that's looking to start, grow, or scale a service-based business. And I spent the last decade of my career in technology and entrepreneurship, working with founders across a bunch of different sectors, scale virtual businesses. So today I'm going to play off Anna's energy and talk about energy inside of the business. And really what I want you to take away from today is this idea that we can't just keep operating business as per usual. Anna spoke to something that I think was really important, which is this idea that for a lot of us, things are coming up, not just in life, but in business, where we're realizing that they didn't maybe work in an ideal way. And maybe we need to do something different in business. And so one of the best ways we can do that is by reaching out to support our clients in this moment, and then to gather information and ideas from them so that we can take new types of action. So last week, as some of you might do like me, I was listening to KUOW, and I was listening to the Week in Review, and they had a reporter, DJ Wilson, on, and he said this. He said, there's never been a more important time to buy from people you know. And it was really interesting because I think a lot of us expected that when coronavirus hit, we would see contraction. We wouldn't see people reach out to us, no selling would happen. And the exact opposite started to happen for my company. We had all of these people who we had been in contact with here and there over time starting to reach out. And the thing is that people really want to work with people they know because it's people they trust. And so there's never been a better time to be talking to your clients or even to potential clients to get a really clear sense of what they need now and what you could be creating together. So I think the most important thing to start with is serving our existing clients. I loved in the chat, I saw a couple of people say, for our best clients, for our most loyal clients, we're reaching out, we're having phone calls with them. That is exactly what you should be doing because, the people that we're already serving, those are our greatest relationships. They're also our greatest revenue potential. And so the first thing that we need to be doing is initiating forms of client outreach to have open-ended conversations where you can get a pulse point of how people are doing and, more importantly, about what they're needing. So I think it's really important to always have a sense of structure to the way that we're talking to people. And so these are some things that I think are really important to consider. First and foremost is just letting someone have a space to share. I believe sharing is a form of caring, and people probably need to vent right now. But also sharing like this builds trust. And so what I think is really hard, and all of us know as leaders of business, that we're in a very unprecedented position in the world, but we're in a really unprecedented position as a leader, because especially if we lead teams, we've got other people looking for us to lead in this moment. And we may be looking around and being like, but I don't even know how to lead, but I've got to step up and set the example. And so if your clients see you as a leader, it's really, really important for them to have a space to share with somebody, because they may have to put on a mask or a face to their team or to their clients that they've got it all figured out. And so to be able to share with somebody in an open way is a really important way to build trust. Now, with that venting in mind, sometimes venting can go a little bit negative. And so our goal in client conversations is always to steer things back towards the positive and help folks move from a state of negativity and problem, centric to one of potential by asking questions and offering up positive actions. So when you hear your clients talking about the things that they're going through, try and tease out one or two things that you can think about a way that they could make a change. So you could ask questions that start with something like, what would it look like if, you revamped your marketing? Or what would it look like if you moved your sales online? Or what would it look like if you fired that client you hate? Or what would it look like to restructure your team right now? And if you ask these kind of open-ended questions, you can start guiding them down a path towards action. And that's when we can start offering up solutions. So this could be a solution that's your service, or it could also be someone else's. A lot of us are networked with each other. Maybe we're not the right person to solve the pain points our clients are experiencing, but if we can reach out and refer them to somebody who can, that's not only a good act of karma, but people will trust you more because they feel like you're a problem solver and you're going to point them to solutions, even if they're not your solutions. So The last thing I want to share here is when we start thinking about moving people towards actions, one of the best things we can do is use the word we. It's really important for people to feel like that they've got somebody on their side and like we're in it together. So if you can tell them that we can work together to solve this problem, we can offer you solutions, we know somebody who can help you, that's going to make them feel like you're on their side. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is setting up a survey. And we polled you about this, and I saw that some of you are doing this already. But we can use client conversations to connect with and honor our existing relationships and get just like a pulse point of how people are feeling or what they're needing. But then we can use surveying to validate what we're seeing. So I'm a total data nerd, I have to admit this. I have a background in biomedical research, and so I always love a good data point. And the goal here is to gather data because it can help us make more informed decisions. Also, maybe not everybody we know wants to hop on our call, or as Anna mentioned about our calendar, they're super busy and they can't, spend an hour with us, but they can take 2 minutes to fill out a survey and give us a sense of what they're needing. So let's talk about what it looks like to build a great survey. So first and foremost, keep it so short and sweet. Like it should take somebody less than 5 minutes to answer. And the less questions you have, the more likely somebody is to answer it in entirety. So aim to ask no more than 10 questions and just keep it to a minimum by offering areas for expansion for the people who want to. So rather than having a million options for people to choose from as answers to your questions, give an other category so that if somebody does feel like expanding on their own experience, they can free form fill that out and share with you what they're going through if it's something different than the options you've given them. Now, the other thing that's really important when we do surveying is to start with your answers and build backwards. So what I mean by that is that if you think that your people are needing a new type of service from you, maybe you're starting to think about a new offering and you've got a couple in mind, you could ask which of these 3 things would be most helpful to your business at this moment. And then you could list out, maybe not the service by name, but some light information about what it might be, just to see if it's something that people really are after, and maybe identify that there's one area you should really focus your offerings for clients at this moment. And then I think the last piece here is to really think about how the data is going to help your decision making as a business owner in the process of realigning. So, if there's key information you need to better target the kind of folks you want to serve in this moment, it's important to capture that as well. So this is qualifying information like, how big is your company? Did you receive PPP funding? Are you having to let go of employees? Information that can, again, help you better align and understand the folks that you're here to serve. Now, one of the things that I mentioned earlier is that I have a background in technology and I'm a total nerd when it comes to applications. And so if you've ever got a question that's like, what app does this? Like, I will always answer that question. Maybe that's something you can throw in when we get to the Q&A. But I'm just a big believer in the fact that tech can make our lives easier. So it's important to pop our questions into a formal survey tool because they are designed for this purpose and they can make things easier. So these are my 3 favorites. Google Forms. I joke about Google Forms that she gets the job done and she's free. It's going to spit the data out into a Google spreadsheet and you're going to have to analyze it for there. But it's not the prettiest, but it's a tool that's available to you if you have, a Google account, and you can take advantage of it natively to just get a free way to get that information gathered. The next one is SurveyMonkey. So we just sent out a SurveyMonkey this morning to some of our clients. It's simple, it's really clean. They have a freemium version. So it's you start out with the free version, and if you want more features, you can pay more. And they have integrated analysis. So rather than you having to do the data analysis yourself, they're gonna do a little bit of that for you. And then the last one that I love is Typeform. Typeform is a very, very beautiful way to deliver integrated forms to your clients. It can be dropped into your website. You can add it as a link to something. They've got beautiful templates that have really great visuals from just like a total design perspective. It's a great looking tool, but it's barely free. They make sure that you're paying a little bit of a premium for that prettiness. But if you're somebody who really cares about your brand and wants to make sure that's exercised in a really beautiful way, Typeform could be the tool for you. So that's how we capture our data and get answers to our questions. But the next piece we have to consider is what we do with that data. So we want to take that information and use it to brainstorm. So things that I like to ask in this moment are there any answers that jump out to us? Like, are there things that are unexpected, or are there answers that surprise us? And then the real question you want to ask as the owner of your business is, where does your business need to go based on who you're serving and the answers they're providing? So take some time to analyze the data and use it to give yourself some clear information and guideposts in the directions you might want to go when it comes to realigning your offerings. Now, if you're in a moment right now where you're ready to realign to meet the needs of your clients, you need to make sure that your offering is going to address their needs right now. And you've got to be open to uncovering new and creative ways to serve your clients next. So an example of this in our business happened at the end of March. We knew that, a lot of our business owners that we work with, who we call ambitious entrepreneurs, were struggling and scrambling and trying to figure out, new ways of being. And so we put out a poll on social media. We just said, of all the topics, that we could potentially teach and talk about, what are the things that would be most helpful to you? And we put out a series. And of all of them, people raised their hand and said, we want to know more about starting a podcast. And we were like, well, we have a podcast and we know a lot about that. And we know a couple other people we could bring on to a webinar and teach about that. But it surprised us. That wasn't necessarily my gut guess, what I would have thought that everybody would have been needing. I would have maybe taught something more hard-hitting about cash flow. And so this process can uncover things that might surprise us, but if it's something that you can teach and share with your clients, you could move in a direction that meets them where they are. Now, the other thing that I think is really important is to think about the journey of your clients. So how can the thing that you offer right in this moment lead to an ongoing or recurring service? So some examples of this could be, if you're in the coaching space, you could be leading strategy sessions. I've known a lot of people who are doing kind of these pivot conversations that are 2 or 3 hour intensive strategy sessions that then lead to an ongoing coaching relationship. Or, for us, we've been doing a lot of website work for clients right now that's going to lead into supporting them with their ongoing marketing. Or, in people in the finance space, this could be, we're going to sit down and do your cash flow plan, and then that's going to lead to ongoing advisory. Now, this is also a really important moment as you realign your offerings to make sure your marketing is fresh. Have it speak to this moment, have it speak to your values and how you're here to help your customers. So this means things like new landing pages, maybe updating your social media, making a brochure, and making sure that it's something that feels like worth spreading. I think the biggest honor is if we get a referral, especially if we're in service-based business. So whenever you create a new piece of marketing to put into the world, think about, is this something that we love enough or that our clients would love enough that they would pass on to somebody they know who might be needing our help right now? So moving on here to key takeaways. These are the things that if you were to make a little list, and we're going to make a list to give to Kathy so that she can upload it into the site, of kind of action items you can take away to start thinking about realigning your offerings in this moment for your clients. It starts by offering help to existing clients first. As I mentioned, these are our most important relationships. They're also the base of our existing revenue, and it's truly where we have the most upsell potential. So start with the people you're already serving, and then move on to clients that are potential clients or people on your mailing list, etc. From there, when you're talking to those clients, have a conversation with them to move from them feeling like they're in a problematic place to a space where they feel like they trust you to provide the solutions they need, even if that's not your own solutions, or maybe it could give you new ideas for a service offering that could benefit your clients in this moment. From there, think about setting up a form. So this is about talking to folks in a broad sense to just share about the areas that you're thinking about in your business, and also to get a sense of their needs in terms of the help they're needing right now. And then once you've shared that form and started to gather data, now just to give a sense of like good proof points, we want at least 10 data points. It'd be great if you could get a lot more than that, but really to start seeing patterns, you need at least 10 respondents. And then you can use that data from the survey and client conversations to inform your next offering. So taking a moment to step back and say, okay, this is what people are needing. How can I meet them there? And then brainstorm a bit using that information to come up with the right services for your clients in this moment. And then that's when we move into my favorite moment, which is when you get to market that new offering to the world. I love a good launch. And so think about what are the ways that you can package in a marketing materials, whether that's new landing pages or a social media announcement, a video, some way to share that offering with the world so that people can see that you've created what they said they needed. All right, that's all I've got today. If you're curious about more help with online education, coaching, or creative consulting, that is what me and my company do. And this is how you can get in touch with us. So fearlessintraining.com is our website. We have a program that we lead for ambitious entrepreneurs that are scaling service-based businesses. It's called Learning Lab. And we created an offer code for anybody who is a part of this KEDA webinar to get the first month free of this program. We lead sessions that are all around marketing, branding, and business development. So for example, this month, we're doing a session on how to build proposals that your clients actually want to sign. Last month, we talked about pricing. Next month, we're talking about scalable sales processes. And so this is a really cool program we've built. And the cool thing is if you sign up, you get access to all the previous month's content. So there's a lot of great free resources for folks. And then if you want to follow us or get in touch with us, there's email and contact information here. But thank you, everyone, for the time. And thank you, KEDA, for letting me be here.